The question is out. Should Utah change the Constitution this November dealing with initiatives? But not everyone is happy with the way this question is written. I'll tell you why straight ahead.
More information about this shooting.
I personally don't believe that this does the things that we're being told it does.
Now, last month, during a whirlwind special session called by Utah lawmakers, protesters and even some GOP representatives told us that they were upset over the legislature passing an initiative to potentially change the state's constitution. And tonight, we're getting our first look at the language that voters will be seeing on the ballot this November. Already, some opponents say lawmakers are being deceptive with how this is written, but the Senate President and House Speaker, the authors, are defending it. Here with details, news specialist Lindsay Ertz. And Lindsay, walk us through what this will say.
Yeah, Ashley, well, this is a proposal to change Utah's constitution, and I actually want to read the language for you because it really is at the crux of this story. It says, should Utah's constitution be changed to strengthen the initiative process by banning foreign money and clarifying that voters and legislative bodies can amend laws. Now, it goes on to say that if that passes, state law will change so that citizens get 50% more time to gather signatures and requires the legislature to follow the intent of the law. So let me translate that a little bit for you. So a vote in favor of this amendment means you support the legislature having the ability to repeal laws created by citizens after they're passed, and you want to block foreign money from swaying votes and make it easier to repeal laws. Now, a vote against it means you want Utah's constitution to stay the way it's written now, that the right to alter and reform government belongs to the people, and the citizens' initiative should only be changed by the legislature if that change supports the law the citizens are trying to pass. Now, a lot of groups opposed to this measure say the language is deceptive.
The language, how it stands now, I think is more like an advertisement for it, as opposed to a neutral statement about it. I hope the voters will think about that as they vote and make their good decision.
Now, in a statement, we did get reaction from the Senate President and House Speaker. They are defending the language as clear and concise and say those who are trying to label these efforts as deceptive are often the ones attempting to mislead voters. Now, coming up at 6:30, I have more details on these arguments and a lot more reaction from groups both for and against this measure. For now, for Live at 5, I'm Lindsay Ertz. Back to you.
All right, Lindsay, we will see you then. Thank you. Well, Chopper 5 is up in the air.
Legislation. A controversial proposal to change Utah's constitution over initiatives has just been made public, and critics say it's deceptive. But as news specialist Lindsay Ertz reports, the authors, top GOP leaders, are defending it.
I think the language is deceptive because I think the main effect of the amendment is to seriously weaken the initiative process.
A newly inked proposal is asking voters to change Utah's constitution on who gets the final say over laws created by citizen initiative. But it's the ballot language that has some scratching their head.
I think is more like an advertisement for it, as opposed to a neutral statement about it.
Bountiful Republican Representative Ray Ward voted against proposing this change to voters. Here's the language that will show up on your ballot in November. Should Utah's constitution be changed to strengthen the initiative process by banning foreign money and clarifying that voters and legislative bodies can amend laws? If that happens, then the state law would change, so citizens will get 50% more time to gather signatures to repeal laws, and the legislature would need to follow the intent of a ballot initiative. But critics like Ward argue the change won't strengthen initiatives at all.
This would say that the legislature can repeal any citizen initiative anytime they want to, and to me that is a big weakening of that power.
Here's a translation. A vote in favor of the amendment means you support the legislature having the ability to repeal laws created by citizens after they're passed, and you want to block foreign money from swaying votes and make it easier to repeal laws via referendum. A vote against means you want Utah's constitution to stay as it's written, that you believe the right to alter and reform government belongs to the people, and citizen initiative should only be changed by the legislature if that change supports the law the citizens are trying to pass. In a statement, Utah's top two Republican lawmakers who wrote the language, the Senate President and House Speaker, are defending it, calling it straightforward and concise for voters to understand the core of the proposed changes. They added that it's those who are labeling these efforts as deceptive who are often the ones attempting to mislead voters. Now, Better Boundaries, a key group opposed to it, came out calling the language hopelessly slanted. Well, a group who wants you to vote yes on Amendment D says the only thing they can find wrong with it is that the language is too easy. Now, I will tell you that a voter pamphlet with both the arguments for and against this should be out by mid-October. Reporting in Salt Lake City for KSL-5 News, I'm Lindsay Ertz.
Lindsay, thanks for clarifying that. It's important.